I used to think the worst feeling in the world was losing someone you love. But I was wrong. The worst feeling is losing yourself. When you can't trust your own mind, when every shadow hides a secret and every memory feels like a lie, that's when you truly understand fear. Tonight, something is missing, but it's not just my things. It's pieces of my soul. I was alone in my apartment, smoking a cigarette. A sense of unease gnawed at me, like something crucial was missing, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Frustration simmered as I checked my drawers and discovered my medicine was gone. Panic crept in. I was sure I had bought it a week ago. I searched for my diary, my heart racing, but it too was missing. Confusion and anger mixed as I wondered why my belongings were disappearing. I set a reminder on my phone for a checkup tomorrow, feeling a deep emptiness as I sat back down, smoking another cigarette. My heart ached, telling me something important was missing, but my mind was a foggy mess. Living on the 4th floor of the Riverside residence had its perks, but tonight it felt like a trap. When I looked outside, I saw something strange. It was lightly raining, and a young man about my age was walking in the rain, trying to avoid getting wet. I felt a pang of sympathy for him, thinking he might not have a home. The sight stirred a mix of sadness and empathy within me. I went to the washroom and stared at myself in the mirror, frustration and sadness swirling inside me as I wondered about my illness. I wished I could tell you what it was, but ironically, I don't remember the disease. Afterward, I went back to my bedroom and checked the weather outside. The same young man was walking down the road, but this time he was wearing my black Swarovski hoodie and my Air Jordan 1 Chicago sneakers. Shock and disbelief washed over me. How did he get those? Determined to solve this mystery, I decided to check my drawer for the hoodie and sneakers, but they were gone. Panic turned into a cold sweat. I checked every corner of the drawer, but they were nowhere to be found. I threw all the clothes in floor, and I ran to the window and saw the young man still there, now holding a red diary and using a phone. From the 4th floor, I could tell the diary and phone were mine. I shouted at him, anger and desperation in my voice, and he looked up and smiled. I checked my pocket, and my phone was still there. Confusion overwhelmed me as I tried to call 911, but my fingers dialed a different number, one that wasn't saved on my phone. My heart told me it was the right number to call. The call went to voicemail, and the voice sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it. Desperation clawed at me as I called 911 and reported that someone had broken into my house and stolen my belongings. The police arrived within minutes, but the person was gone. Anxiety and relief mingled as they asked me a few questions and searched my apartment, checking my ID. After a while, an officer told me I needed to go to the station for further paperwork. I agreed, a mix of confusion and hope stirring within me. But at the station, instead of paperwork, they put me in a room. Fear and suspicion crept in. After about half an hour, a familiar-looking woman entered.
Mahin, what's up?
She asked, her voice gentle and concerned. Fine, doctor. Why are you here? I replied, confusion and a hint of fear in my voice. She smiled, a mixture of sadness and reassurance in her eyes.
Mahin, don't worry about me. Tell me why you're here.
I told you everything before, I said, frustration mixing with my anxiety. I saw a man outside wearing my clothes, holding my diary and phone. My stuff is missing, and I don't know what's going on.
Take a deep breath,
she said softly.
When was the last time you took your medication?
I hesitated, trying to recall. I don't know, a few days ago, maybe. She nodded, her expression a mix of concern and understanding.
That's what I thought. Mahin, you know how important it is to take your medication regularly. It helps you stay grounded.
I looked away, guilt gnawing at me. I know, but things have been so blurry lately, ever since John. She placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder.
I understand. John was like a brother to you. You two were inseparable, always hanging out at his apartment. It's been hard on you since he passed.
Tears welled up in my eyes as memories flooded back. Yeah, it's been really hard. I miss him so much. Then I cried in agony pain.
Here, take this. It will help. And Mahin, the phone you're using isn't yours. You couldn't find your belongings because this isn't your apartment. It's John's flat. The man outside wasn't real. You were imagining yourself.
Shock and devastation hit me like a tidal wave. My mouth hung open, unable to process what she had just said. Yeah, I muttered. tears welling up in my eyes as I hung my head in pain and sorrow. I called his number with his phone. The spot where I imagined the man outside was the exact place where John had been killed in a car accident. The realization tore through me, deepening my grief and confusion. "I miss him so much," I whispered, the weight of loss crushing me.